Hello fellow humans and welcome to another episode of Your Replays, and this time we're gonna cover tanks that aren't really that good but can still work out just about fine. So no STGs here. And we start off with Mansi in the Panther II, which is a vehicle that isn't really great. However, on your way to the E50M is a tank that you'll have to go through, and I'll definitely recommend getting the E50M. So this is a tank that we have to go through. Now if you want to submit your own replays, then first of all don't forget to like and subscribe so that you eventually see your own replay, and join my Discord server. Link to that is in the description. Now there's also an email in that description, but don't send me replays to that email, they will be ignored. So put your replays on the Discord server. There's a channel for it called Replays. Put them in there and I'll have a look sometimes. So at this point, join my Discord server because it's a great place. Panther 2 can work if you just about do it well enough. Now what you can see right here is Mazzy's team here does have quite a bit of map control and has a lot of, you know, control over it as well. And the one medium tank is, he's dead. He's playing 1v2 right there. I don't know why people do that, to be honest. Like, if you have a disadvantage, if you're in a fight that you can't win, just get out of there. Run. You know, you can just always reposition, take a better position somewhere else and fight from there. Only a fool fights a fight that they can't win. Just like that Panther just did. So, T-29, you know, he shot the Panther earlier, but it didn't work out. Now, one thing, I'm a bit... I don't know, like, I think Mancy's free to play, but he's not using any APCL. Like, no premium rounds. I don't know if you just kept the standard loadout, because obviously if you don't actually load out your tank, just, you don't get any premium ammo. However, I would always recommend to use some premium ammo. If you're free to play, still, get like 5-6 shells of premium ammo in there, because in some cases, you're just gonna need it. Especially with a vehicle like this. You have 203 standard penetration. However, that is not going to be enough, especially if you're in a T9 match. So always take a bit of premium ammo, even if you're free to play. Just try to not use it. You gotta be restrained there. However, you always want to have premium ammo loaded in your tank, because if you need it, there it is. And the Panther has enough ammo so that you don't have to dip into it, even if you're having a great game with your AP rounds. Now, then any team has done the classic we go city and lose move right here, because you don't want to do that. You never want to be stuck up one place and then sit there, right? Because what happens if you're all stuck together and you sit in one place is that it means you get flanked and you get shot up from all sides. If you do stick together, then you stick together for one reason, that is to push. If you are all together, 7 players, you go. You go for it, you send it. Then, great, works out, beautiful. However, if 7 players sit in all the same spot, do nothing, you're fucked. So, either you push when you're all together, or you spread out and get the map control and win it that way. Sitting in one spot, getting surrounded, it's not going to help. It's not going to work. It will never do. Which means I would always recommend going to the medium side and the middle. Like, I'm not going to tell you if you play Mouse to just go all the way to the medium side. Absolutely not. Nice game though. And now this is not where I would go, and it is Gonzalo in the I6. However, it will still be a good game. Now, I wouldn't go here, right? So, in this position, it's not good. More often than not, it will turn out negatively. Now, the I6 is currently in the shop. I will make a shop review, like, on Friday. However, what I can tell you already is it's a good bundle, but not a good tank. So basically, it's a good value for a bad gameplay experience, pretty much. And you have to decide for yourself whether you actually want that. I can't recommend it. It's a good bundle, but that bundle is way better off with a T34 or a Yak T88. Not the I6. This thing is very mediocre these days, and I just wouldn't recommend it. It just lacks overall enjoyment and performance, because you don't really have a great gun, you don't really have great mobility. The armor is solid enough, but it's not amazing, and you also don't have any gun depression, so personally wouldn't recommend that. But yeah, like you can get something like a Yak Tiga with a ridiculous DPM or a T34 that can just pin everything, and this thing, yeah, not so much. Now at this point, what the enemy mediums are doing is they're absolutely doing the right thing. They're out there towards the cap circle and absolutely destroying Gonzalo's medium tanks. If If you lose your medium tanks, you lose a lot of map control. And if you don't control the map, oftentimes you don't control the outcome. Because if two teams are equal in skill, in 90% of cases, the team that has, first of all, the better luck, and then second of all, the better map control is going to win. So you always want to take the map control. Now, nice wiggling there. It does work out because you can pen the side of the turret on this thing, so wiggling here does definitely make a lot of sense. However, still, I wouldn't ever go to this position, even in the IS-6. And now at this point, it is a 2 versus 4. Right? As I said again, if you bunch up, you push. Didn't quite work out because a lot of the enemies were there as well. Now, the enemy medium tanks did a better job than Gonzalo's medium tanks, which now means the enemy medium is still alive, which is why you want to kill the medium tanks first, right? That's why I would always recommend spread out on the field. Get rid of that. Get rid of those big problems, then you can deal with the annoying heavies later. So, don't recommend that. At this point, IS-6 versus IS-6. I would assume an IS-6 is going to win this fight, and that's how it goes. And now the two enemy medium tanks are left alive. That is the worst thing you could have. If medium tanks are alive at the end of the battle, that is horrible, especially if the tanks are a heavy tank player, which is why we want to take those out first. Which is why I always go to the medium side, the better side, for most cases. Like on Hellas, it's more 50-50 than it is on other maps, like Fault to Spare, the sea capture circle is horrible. On this map, it can work, but it very rarely does. So, definitely recommend not going to this side of the map. However, nonetheless, 3,300 damage. That's still a pretty good result here. And now, at this point, it wouldn't. Those two could be both one-shots, and it would still be very difficult to actually pull this off, because if you aim at the Progetto, the T-43 peaks. If you aim at the T-43, the Progetto peaks. And then the IS-8 peaks. Because we have Dave in the T110E5. I have no idea how to pronounce your name. Yeah, you'll know. So, we now have the T110E5, which is a tank that has been neglected for quite a while. And this is one of the maps where it really depends on the team, right? This map, it's one of those where this position can be incredibly useful if the team's there. If the team's not there, it's incredibly useless. So this is one of the very few maps that are actually like 50-50, and if you have more mediums, you go down. If you have more heavies, you go up. That's how I would handle this one at least. But nonetheless, the I6 game was pretty nice. However, like, A for effort, C for execution, pretty much. Now, at this point, the T125 is like the Type 71, has very, very bad gun. Low DPM and low alpha damage for its DPM. However, while the Type 71 has its dummy armor that you can't pen unless you fire T57 heavy heat rounds at it, this thing does not have that. And that's obviously not good. It obviously has the gun depression. However, the Type 71 does have that too. So the E5 doesn't have an identity at the moment, really, because, I mean, why would you play this tank when you can get the Super Conqueror, when you get Chieftain, when you can get the Concept 1B? They're all better, and they're all do the same thing, you know, and in most cases just a lot better. So this thing, I think, it does definitely need a lot of love. Just like the Panther, and maybe the IS-6 as well. What I would love to see, Panther, more penetration. Again, it's already solid at it, so make it better. And for the IS-6, obviously it's a Russian tank. However, I would make the turret even more impenetrable. You know, it doesn't have the gun depression, so it won't benefit that much. However, that's what I would do to the IS-6. To be a bit more competitive with things like the Object 2 FTU and the Type 757 or whatever it's called. The problem, though, is if you buff everything, you eventually lift up the level of everything, and then you, in like 10 years, if Blitz is still a thing, you have, you know, tier 8s with the stats of tier 10s as they are now, and it's not going to work. So, at this point, all you gotta do is sit all down and have the perfect situation right there for 5,000 damage, which is absolutely amazing. It's not the most interesting thing to happen, But if you get in that flow, if you get in that position, then there is absolutely nothing the enemy can do about you. And that is what the E5 is doing really well at. If you get left alone in your little hull down spot, no one's going to push you, no one's going to drag you out of your little hole, you're going to absolutely dominate from it, just like a Crown 1 can, just like a Type 71 will. The biggest enemy of these vehicles is them actually being attacked by multiple enemies. So is that of every other vehicle. However, if you're being attacked in a medium by multiple tanks, you can run away. If you're being attacked by multiple enemies in a mouse, you'll survive longer because hit points. In these, that's a bit more of a problem. But it is 6,000 damage. Now, give it its damn DPM back. Come on, Wargaming. I believe in balance. And I hope you enjoyed. And I hope I said something useful, I guess. But thank you for watching. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.